Hey guys, Hades here. So today talking about some differences between the Philippines and Thailand and which one is better. Keep in mind that there's no definitive answer. Some of what I give you is based on fact, some of it's based on hearsay, and some of it's based on my opinion. And there's no real right or wrong answer. I've looked through several different, or I've thought about several different aspects that might influence you as to whether you'd prefer to go to Thailand or the Philippines. I've been to both countries 4 times each. However, I have to admit I've seen a lot more in the Philippines than I have in Thailand. But anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. Which place is better to visit, the Philippines or Thailand? It really depends on what you're looking for. I try to make a list of what might matter to people. I try to be objective, but I will be subjective on occasion. There's lots of things on this list. They're both on the less expensive side, but I do think Thailand is a little less expensive than the Philippines. All right, so let's look at a few things. Harassment. About being harassed in these countries. You get harassed in both of them. And by that I mean people who want your money. Honestly, I think Philippines is better. Now in the Philippines, it's better, on the harassment level. You get harassed less in the Philippines. If you are walking down the street and a Filipino asks you for money and you say no, they'll keep going, right? And the harassments usually, there's one lady in the Philippines who just constantly kept asking for money. But in general, you can say no once, no, I'm sorry, and they'll leave. When you go to Thailand, I've only been asked for money flat out by beggar types a couple times. Mostly in Thailand, it's people asking if you want a suit or you want a massage or they're trying to sell you some timeshare, and they will not leave you alone. I try to be polite. So if I'm not interested, I say no thank you, and that's a bad idea in Thailand. Every time I go to Thailand, after a week, I'm completely ignoring people who approach me on the street because once you talk to them, they think they've got you hooked and they'll continue to talk to you for quite a long time. Now, in the Philippines, usually just say no thank you and they're good. It's different though. In Thailand, they're usually trying to sell you something, a massage, a suit, something. But in the Philippines, they're just asking for money. Usually if you say no thanks, I'm sorry, they'll leave you alone. So I say Philippines is better about harassment. Money changers. I don't know for sure, but I read and seen a lot of videos where they say take money with you and then don't exchange it at the airport, exchange it at these money changers. Basically, you'll see money changers in both countries. However, I saw a lot more in Thailand. They were everywhere. Again, I've only been to one place in Thailand, that was Phuket, but everywhere there were money changers. And in the Philippines, sometimes you had to look a little bit for them. So I say there's more money changers in Thailand. So, yeah. Natural beauty. Okay, this is hard for me to say. I've seen very pretty places in both of them. Very beautiful natural scenery. I'm going to give this one to Thailand, just because I didn't see a lot of dirty places in Thailand, where there are some dirty beaches, dirty areas in the Philippines. And I read about this beach in Thailand that I went to visit, not last time I was there, but the time before. And people said, it's filthy, it's disgusting, don't go there. I went there anyway, and it was beautiful. It had been cleaned up. So I've never run into any real trash in natural scenery in Thailand where I have in the Philippines. Smoking. If you like to smoke cigarettes, Thailand only. You're still allowed to smoke in Thailand. You're allowed to smoke in the Philippines. Some places, only in certain areas, maybe. They're really cracking down on smoking cigarettes in the Philippines, which kind of annoyed me. Vaping, go to the Philippines. I think their laws are real strict about vaping too, but in Thailand, vaping is illegal. They don't like that. Now, I'm not saying you get in trouble for it. What I did is I would vape because I vape and smoke. These days, I'm vaping much more than I smoke, trying to quit smoking. But in Thailand, I vaped at the bars and I vaped in my hotel. And that was it. I didn't walk down the street vaping. There's lots of cops constantly stopping people. I didn't want to give them an excuse. So when I settle down at a bar and I'm drinking, I'll vape, or at my hotel. In the Philippines, that last trip I was smoking a lot more. I wasn't vaping that much. But vaping is legal in the Philippines, and it's not legal in Thailand. So you're better off going to the Philippines if you like to vape. Corruption. I haven't experienced much of it. As a matter of fact, I experienced very little, no corruption at all in Thailand. None. Except for, unless you count, hiring a tuk-tuk on Phuket. That's expensive, so I don't do that. From what I hear, other people, Philippines is much, much worse with corruption. Much worse. But again, and I did, my second wife was a Filipina, so I did experience it. I couldn't get married there without, paying handouts to people. And I hear that's still going on for other things, like extending your visa. Safety. This one's hard too. I felt relatively safe in both places. With that said, always have self-awareness. Always know what you're doing. I don't want to tell you a place is safe and then you go there and you get robbed or assaulted, right? Have self-awareness. Know what's going on around you. If it looks like someone's following you, stop in a bar or something. I haven't had bad experiences except one time in Thailand. This guy, this tuk-tuk driver, because they charge too much, so no one's getting rides from them because it's ridiculously expensive. So one time, this tuk-tuk driver grabbed my backpack and said, "You need to take a tuk-tuk." And I said, "No, I don't." And I pulled my backpack out of his hand. That can be considered a little scary, maybe. The guy was huge. He didn't do anything else after that. But I guess he wasn't making any money because they charge a ridiculous amount in tuk-tuks, at least on Phuket. Now, in the Philippines, you'll see armed guards at probably at least 30% of all businesses. These guys are armed. Armed guards at 7-Eleven. So, things have happened in the past, right? I've never had any bad experiences. But, there's a reason there are armed guards at a lot of these businesses. So I'm just saying, I guess I'm going to give this one to Thailand. But again, I've had no real trouble with safety in either place. Religion. I don't know why. Maybe if you're moving there, I don't know why you'd consider religion. Most people in the Philippines are Catholic. Most people in Thailand are Buddhist. But there's still a lot of other religions in both countries, if you want to base your holiday on religion. Friendliness. This is rough. They're both very, very friendly. I rarely had any issues with people not being friendly to me in both countries. However, I'm going to give this one to the Philippines. Maybe they're a tad bit friendlier. English. If you go to a country, you want them to speak English. Philippines wins hands down. I mean, there's a lot of people in Thailand who speak fine English, but most people in the Philippines speak English. They've learned it in school. Now, some of them forget it. Not everyone you encounter in the Philippines will speak English, but a lot more of them speak English than there are those who speak English in Thailand. Exotic. If you're looking for a more exotic place, you could probably go back to religion, right? If you're a Westerner, maybe the Philippines will be less exotic for you. Maybe Thailand will be more exotic, right? It depends, right? If you're Asian, maybe Philippines will be more exotic for you. But, for most Westerners, I would say, definitely Thailand is more exotic. Okay, I'll just talk about this, I guess. If you're looking for a partner, for some fun, I believe you could get them in both Thailand and the Philippines. Let's start out a little innocent. You're looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I would guess maybe the Philippines is a little better. If you're looking for a one-night stand that maybe you may or may not have to pay for, maybe Thailand's a little better, right? Ladyboys, Thailand. If you're looking for some homosexual experience, probably Thailand. That's just what I've seen. They have a gay street in Thailand where you just walk down and a bunch of gay people will approach you. So, yeah, I'd go for Thailand for most of those, except for maybe if you're looking for an actual relationship, then I would say Philippines. Easy travel. To travel to other places in the country or even outside the country, I would say Thailand's better. Look, Thailand's mostly on the continent, right? Whereas Philippines is a bunch of islands, right? So often if you have to travel around the Philippines, you'll be maybe take a ferry. It depends on where you're going. But in Thailand, you could always take a bus. In both places, if you're traveling far enough, you could take an airplane. But I'm going to say, just due to geography, that Thailand is a little easier and cheaper to travel around. Visa run. Okay, so for example, your visa runs out and you have to go to another country and come back. Of course, Thailand is better. You won't have to get on an airplane. You 100% have to get on an airplane if you're in the Philippines. To leave the country, it's a bunch of islands, right? So it'll probably be a lot more expensive to go on a visa run. Also, just renewing your visa or extending your visa, I hear tell, is much easier in Thailand. Both countries allow you to stay for 30 days. It depends on where you're from. I'm from the US. I'm allowed to go there with no visa for 30 days and stay in both countries. Then in both countries, you can extend your visa. You can go to talk to the government, pay them some money, and you can stay for another 30 days in both countries. However, I've heard there's corruption going on in the Philippines. So the amount of money you read online, you'll be paying more. You'll be lining someone's pockets to extend your visa in the Philippines. If you go on a visa run, it's much easier in Thailand, right? It's on the continent. You can travel to a nearby country via bus. So I think for visa runs or visa extensions, Thailand's better. Also, let's say rock and roll. Thailand by a mile. Thailand's got a lot of these little bars, and especially if no one else is there, or even if there are people there and they're not paying attention, you can say, hey, I want to listen to this, and they'll let you listen to whatever you want. They want to keep their customers happy, right? So they'll do that. And there was one place I found in the Philippines that did that, but for the most part, they've got their music set and they're going to play that. And there's a lot less rock and roll going on in the Philippines. If you've seen any of my older videos, I was able to make a video in Thailand about going to different bars and getting them to play Iron Maiden. That would have been impossible in the Philippines. I listened to 0 Iron Maiden in the Philippines. No Iron Maiden at all. So yeah, you like rock and roll, Thailand's much better. Or even if you like something else that's not rock and roll, you like something maybe a little more obscure that's not that popular, like jazz or something. Most places, not most places, but a lot of the smaller bars in Thailand, they'll let you play whatever you want. Just go and say, hey, can I hear some Iron Maiden? They might just give you this little, control pad, and you could pick whatever you want off YouTube or wherever they're playing it from. So a lot more rock and roll going on in Thailand. Also, even a lot of the bars I walked by when they had live music in Thailand, they were playing rock and roll anyway, right? The live bands. And there were some in the Philippines. I've made videos on them, but there are a lot of others that weren't playing that much rock at all. Very poppy. The Philippines is a lot more poppy. Thailand's a lot more rock. If you like rock and roll, go to Thailand. Infrastructure, Thailand. They got better infrastructure. Yeah, you can even look that up. I think that's pretty much a fact. Thailand's got much better infrastructure. Their internet is far better. They don't have all these blackouts all the time where you lose power for 2 hours or 12 hours. And again, that only happened to me like once or twice in the Philippines the last time I was there. But years ago, I'd go there. And they just have blackouts, or brownouts for 10, 12, 15, 18 hours at a time. So it was... I just say overall, Thailand's got a much better infrastructure. You want to live there? I don't know much about this at all. From what I've read, Philippines used to be easier. To get your visa to live there. I don't know for sure now. Again, if you live in the Philippines, you're always going to have to line some pockets anytime you're dealing with the government. That's just been my experience and experiences other people have talked about to me. I'm sure some people have only paid what they're required to pay in some instances. But everyone I talk to, not everyone, most people I talk to in the Philippines, anytime you're dealing with the government, you're going to have to line some pockets. You'll be paying extra for stuff. And I've experienced that. But I still think the laws, or they used to be easier if you want to actually move there and live there. I don't know for sure. You're going to have to look that one up yourself. I haven't lived for a long period of time in either of those countries. Okay, guys, I hope this helped you out. I really appreciate you watching the video. And if you made it to this point, in the comments, say, yippee! Thanks. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
What's the name of your flag? Highway what? behaving.